Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is the Rock and Roll Spock coming at you today with the season 2 recap of Arrow, as promised earlier. Anyway, this recap, due to the nature of how Arrow episodes are presented, will be done differently from how other recaps. The first part of it will focus on the events that happen on the island and the flashbacks of the series. And the other parts will center on the present day portion. First off, on the island, keep in mind this is supposed to be set in 2008 at this juncture. Ollie, Slade, and Shadow discover the remains of disfigured Japanese World War II soldiers, which they also end up discovering a old World War II era Japanese sub on the island. Ollie is eventually captured and taken to a research vessel Amazo, and while there he discovers that Laurel's sister Sarah, who was presumed to be dead up in the wreck of the Queen's Gambit, survived after all and has been working with Dr. Anthony Ivo on the Amazo. Which Ivo is working on a serum called Mirakuru, which was responsible for the disfigurements of the Japanese soldiers. While on the Amazo, Ollie meets a Russian prisoner named Anatoly, who has connections to the Russian mob. That's actually how it is that Ollie has any traction with the Russian mob in Starling. Slade is later injured when entered the sub they discover and injected with the Mirakuru in the hopes of possibly saving his life, which what Mirakuru is supposed to do is grant those injected with a superhuman strength as well as regenerative capabilities. So it was the only option they had other than let him die. Slade survives, saves Sarah and Ollie after Ivo kills Shadow. During this time period, and after that, Sarah agrees to look after the daughter of a dying pilot. Again, this is an important plot point for later. And then once Ivo informs Slade that Ollie was given a choice as to who would die between Sarah or Shadow, and he basically jumped in front of Sarah, Slade vows to make Ollie lose everyone he loves and cares about before killing him as well. This is after Slade has taken control of the Amazo from Ivo, and also captured Ollie. Ivo then dies at Ollie's hands, and meanwhile, finally, Ollie manages to escape, though Sarah is captured. Ollie and Anatoly attack the Amazo, and once again, Ollie is captured. Anatoly's portion of the attack is actually from the sub. Anatoly ends up firing a torpedo from the sub, which causes the Amazo to sink. Slade and Sarah presumed to have died when it sinks. And Ollie wakes up in Hong Kong and first meets Amanda Waller. That's summed up version of the island portions. Other flashbacks included a much more drawn out version of what Sarah went through in her first year, during the first year after the shipwreck of the wreck of the Queen's Gambit. Also, that a few years before the wreck of the Queen's Gambit, Ollie knocked up a woman cheating on Laurel, and Moira agrees to pay the woman off so that she will tell Ollie she had a miscarriage and then never return to Starling City. Which, in all honesty, could, if the show were to go on long enough, bring in Connor Hawke, who is Ollie's son. Alright, in the 2013 or present portion, Ollie returns to Starling City after the earthquake that destroyed the Glades. He actually spent 6 months on the island, I guess, trying to get over everything. Mainly the death of his best friend, Tommy. He vows at Tommy's grave to not kill anymore. Queen Consolidated is targeted for a takeover by a woman named Isabel Rochev. An alderman by the name of Sebastian Blood begins to make a name for himself in Starling. Quentin Lance has been demoted to patrol officer after helping or assisting the vigilante. Um, Ollie does what he can as the vigilante to help the people of the Glades. He also tries to do what he can as himself to help as well, but usually it's more a case of him having to put on the outfit and go kick ass. Also, a female vigilante named the Canary has popped up in Starling using a collapsible, a bow staff which can collapse into two staves, as well as a portable sonic weapon. And she has a female sidekick named Sin, who ends up befriending Roy. As the season progresses, Canary is revealed to be Sarah, who has once again survived. And Sin is the daughter of the pilot that she promised to look after. Laurel has developed a drinking problem and ultimately joins AA at the insistence of her father. Moira stands trial for her part in the destruction of the Glades at the end of season 1, is found not guilty, and eventually runs for mayor against Sebastian Blood after the death of the sitting mayor. It turns out that Blood and Slade are secretly testing Mirakuru, which is derived from Slade's blood, on various residents of the Glades, including Roy, who survives and starts to actively train and work with Ollie. It turns out that Ollie's sister Thea is the daughter of Moira Queen and Malcolm Merlin. This eventually will drive a rather large wedge between Thea and the rest of her family. Barry Allen shows up and briefly aids Ollie and crew, even going so far as to leave Ollie a domino mask before return to Starling City. And then the Star Labs particle accelerator has an accident, and Ollie is left in a coma. Or Barry, not Ollie. Barry is left in a coma, and he's totally not getting his own show this fall. Totally not, because he's comatose. Yeah. Amanda Waller forms Task Force X, consisting of Deadshot, who made a few appearances on season 1, as well as some earlier appearances in season 2, including during the trip to Russia. Bronze Tiger, who popped up a few times earlier in season 2, martial artist with bladed gauntlets, basically. I guess that would be, or bladed brass knuckles would be a better way of putting it. And he really does give Ollie a run for his money. Other members include, at least briefly, Shrapnel, Diggle's ex-wife, Layla. In fact, Diggle also somewhat works with Task Force X. There was a brief moment also where it's hinted that a potential member of the task force is none other than Harley Quinn. Sarah Lance and Ollie begin dating again, though it ultimately does not end well. Slade ends up killing Moira. Isabel takes over Queen Consolidated as per Slade's plan, as she is working with Slade. Roy is cured of the Mirakuru, as it was revealed there is a cure for those that are injected with it and survive. The cure is mass produced. Blood gives Ollie the cure and gets killed by Isabel for this, after she too is injected with Mirakuru. Slade then leads an army of Mirakuru-injected convicts in an assault on the city, which is stopped by various parties, including the police, Ollie, Roy, and Diggle. Well, Diggle's part of it is more stopping Amanda Waller from dropping a nuke on the city, but still, that does count. Slade has the Mirakuru, is also cured the Mirakuru, and defeated by Ollie and imprisoned in a new Argus prison on the island. Um, Also, Officer Lance is promoted back to detective after the end of the season, and when he led the police force against Slade's army. And finally, Thea leaves Starling City with her very much not dead father, Malcolm Merlin. Another plot point mentioned is the fact that the League of Assassins, well, both Malcolm Merlin and Sarah Lance are members of the League of Assassins, and in fact, the League themselves helps defend the city. And Sarah goes, in fact, returns to the League at the end after they save the city in return for their part in it. In fact, Ra's al Ghul will be this coming season's big bad guy. But yeah, that's big. Basically, season 2 wrapped up in a bow. Season 3 starts in a few weeks, and we'll start getting weekly updates on that one. That's all I got for it. Also, this is of course the last video that we've done in the month of September. As mentioned a while back, the majority, about half of the videos in October will be horror related due to October, Halloween, all that fun stuff. That being the case, certain segments will not run. However, the weekly TV roundup will still run every week on every Wednesday, as happened this week. Also, there will not, however, be a HeroClix 101 in October. We'll be skipping October and just moving on to November with HeroClix 101. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Links to my social media pages can be found down below, both Twitter and Facebook. That's it for today. As always, live long, rock hard.